Welcome to the Atlas Sidewalk sale. We're playing 20 questions with
Ryan Sirignano, National Sales Manager for Kenro Industries. We do distribution for Y Studio, Autohut, Aurora, Schaefer, Monte Grappa, Pininfarina, and we also have the registered trademark for Estie, so that might be the one that you might be most fond of.
Yeah, I have a soft spot for Estes. I don't own one, but I love them. Let's get into the questions.
Okay, let's go.
When I say fountain pen, what pen do you think of?
Estie. Do you want these rapid fire, or should I say why?
You can do whatever you want to do.
So I was actually part of the team that kind of found the Estie when we really relaunched the brand. So for me, it's a very prideful pen.
You just become one of my favorite people.
Somehow we hit this magical thing, I guess, that really resonated with the fountain pen community. And for me, if you would have asked me that question 7 years ago, I would not have had the same answer. But today I say Estie.
Yeah, I have loved the Estie since before I got into pens.
Okay, cool. Love that.
How did you get into pens?
Oddly enough, I was out of college. I was a subprime mortgage underwriter, going back to graduate school for my master's degree. Basically lost my job, took an internship at Kenro Industries. It took a little while till I really fell in love with like the pen side of everything that we were doing, but I'd say a couple years into it, I was knee-deep in fountain pens.
What was your first pen?
First pen. First pen crush or first pen?
First fountain pen.
Okay. Probably Lamy Safari. It was the only one I could afford at that.
What's your current daily driver?
I'm gonna come back to the Estie, but I don't want to sound so boring because I use that Y Studio Classic Revolve pen pretty often.
Okay.
I love that pen.
It's a cool pen. What's your favorite ink?
I'm gonna go with Aurora Blue because for me, I know all these fancy inks exist, but I just feel like the Aurora Blue ink is like the tried and true. Like, you need medicine for your pen, it's not working right. A lot of times, instead of water, we put Aurora Blue through it, and it fixes all the problems up.
Yeah. What's your favorite brand? Which I think is going to be a hard question because you represent a lot of brands.
Oh, I feel like I can't really go on the record 1,000,000% in saying that, but
that's fair.
Okay, so
I put you in a difficult
I'll give you
position.
some. Yeah, it is a difficult position, but I'll answer this question with some nuance. Estie for me is like a child, right? So like I love that very much. I'm very passionate about Monte Grappa insofar as, and Aurora in the Italian way that they create pens and the products that they produce. So for me, they strike a chord with me, and like so far as my personal preferences. Y Studio in a way kind of does that also because I just love the like EDC thing, and I also have a ballpoint collection. Maybe some of your followers might not like that, but I love the EDC trend. And I love the manufacturing capacity that Autohut really brings to the table.
Okay.
I love the price points that Schaefer brings to the table. So I think it's a difficult question, but in a weird way, I love them all.
You love everything you represent.
Yeah, I do.
And you've got everything at a wide variety of price points.
This is very true. Okay, so is that a good enough answer? Maybe not?
Vintage or modern?
Modern. Easy.
Do you swatch all your inks?
No, not at all.
I think it's an A. Are there any pens that you daily drive the same ink and pen combination?
No, I'm like people will probably cringe, but I'm cool with mixing inks. I don't need to clean things out properly.
I'll just Jones approach.
That's exactly right.
I appreciate that approach. He has converted me to that approach. He's very proud of the fact that he's converted me to that approach. Do you swatch all your nibs in a way that you can flip through them, or do you just know the nib in every pen?
I just know the nib in every pen.
What's a pen you wish you could see in person?
Oh, I've always been intrigued by some of those, like, the brand doesn't exist anymore, but Lomenchai made some like solid jade pens, and it's not really something that I would ever purchase, but I just felt like that was something that I would love to see in person.
Oh, I'm gonna have a great time finding reference images for this.
Yeah, it's gonna be impossible, but it might be on like one of those blogs of like the most expensive pens in the world, so that might be easy enough to find. But it doesn't exist anymore.
What's your Grail pen?
Grail Pen. Aye, aye, aye. On the spot, really. It's hard to answer because I have access to pens very regularly, and I get to write with a lot of them. Good bless you. I don't hate the Mont Blanc 149. I don't have a 149, and I would probably put that pretty high on my list.
That's fair.
Okay?
I've used 149s, and I like them. What's a pen you'd recommend to a beginner?
I like the TWSBI. Basically any entry-level TWSBI, I think it's a great gateway into the system. I mean, I think any Lamy too. They write just perfectly, and I think a lot of times when people get too hungry on chasing the price, but not worrying about the writing quality, it doesn't enable you to kind of love the passion of writing in general. So I think it's really important that first pen be one that just like always works. And I think TWSBI does that really well, and I think that Lamy does that really well.
What's an ink you'd recommend to a beginner?
Aurora Blue.
What advice do you have for somebody wanting to try out fountain pens who might be a bit intimidated by them?
Come to an event if you can get to an event and really get there. Ask questions. We're a welcoming community. We want more people to join that community. Come and try stuff.
What filling mechanism do you think is most interesting, regardless of if you actually like to use it or not?
The power push mechanism or a back filler or something like that. I think that those are just incredible. I love to even just watch the pen fill with ink that way. It's amazing.
Atlas makes filling videos that somebody has described as being basically adult content in their back filler videos.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I sometimes just sit there and watch the video like on loop like 45 times.
Yeah. And
then I'm like, how did an hour just go away?
Yeah. I need to talk to Crystal about how she films those. What nib size do you prefer to write with?
Tough to say. I think I really prefer the exotic nibs. That's part of what Esterbrook has really done well. Yes. One of the things that I very much love. My favorite Estie nib is the Scribe. It's not everyone's favorite, but I love the Architect grind. I like the feedback. So for me, that's my favorite nib. So I guess not just a blanket nib, but some level of customization, in my opinion, is important.
Is there a style of nib you love or find intriguing but would never actually use?
The vintage flex stuff intimidates me. I just find that those pens have such a rich history, and I feel like my handwriting doesn't do them justice, and I'm nervous that I would spring a nib. So I would say I would personally stay away from that. I'm a little too heavy-handed.
Do you always use the same paper? If so, what paper?
I do not always use the same paper. I like to use fountain pens in the field, so I kind of just use them on whatever. I'll write on a napkin even though it'll screw up my nib.
Same. And go. What's your least favorite ink/ink color family?
I don't like the shimmer stuff, honestly. I think that some of it is tough. I've seen what it does to pens sometimes. So if I had to say, personally, I stay away from anything with shimmer in it.
Well, thanks for playing 20 questions.
Thank you.